everyone. Welcome. I am really excited. Byrd and I are going, hi guys. Byrd and I are going to be interviewing podcast creator and host Maria Therathernis. So, there's Byrd right there.
Yes. Look at us go. Let's see who else. Oh, and we've got Maria here too. Jeez, we're so good. Maria, we're going to hold on just for a second so we can just do a few announcements and things. Good evening, Byrd. How are you?
Hey, Molly. I've missed you. It's been a long time.
Too.
I'm excited for this evening's live. So excited.
Yeah, me too. So people are starting to join. I can see a lot of people. Just so you know, you can just sit around and enjoy this as long as you need to, as long as you want. It is being recorded, so you can always come back. Not that you shouldn't stay. We should stay. But also, we want you guys to participate, so come on in the comments. We also have that little thought bubble that's on the bottom right of your screen. Just tap it, put your question in, and as we're interviewing, talking, we will kind of drop in and grab it. So I forgot to look up what we have for announcements.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That's one of my responsibilities, isn't it? And I just was like, it's because I had too much time before the interview today. Usually I'm like rushing around, and this time I was like twiddling my thumbs.
But don't even worry about it. I know that Sandy is on, and so Sandy, you can send us a private message. We're having that brain fog right now, so you can send us a message. And Maria's saying, just wing it.
Just wing it. We're there. We're winging it. Well, you all know the great thing about the challenge is they're always on one of the highlights. So just head on over there. And while we're here, you guys can also kind of mention any challenges.
Yeah, drop it in the comment box and we'll announce it.
Yeah. So we've got Maria coming up, and then after Maria, it's like in another 2 weeks, we are going to interview Lena from That Lena King again, because that was where I was not there, but we had some
technical issues.
Little
Wi-Fi issue, but we'll get it right, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right. So all of that, I'm going to let Maria in. Let's see if it works. We'll see. So just so you all know, she's in Australia, Brisbane.
Hey, it's perfect.
It's our evening. It's your morning.
That's correct. Hi, everyone. Hi, Molly. Hi, Byrd.
Hello.
Hi, everyone who's joined.
I just feel it's like this is the old friends group, because we keep meeting up here. The three of us. We just keep. Byrd and I were interviewed for So Organized Style, and we're on that one. We've also been individually interviewed in the past.
Yeah.
You churn out such a consistent, prolific podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, because I know there's a lot of work that goes into that. So we want to thank you. Hi, Maria. Good morning.
And I can only do that when I have amazing guests who say yes, and they say, oh, my story's not that special. And I sit there going, let's just chat. And it always comes out that every guest has got something that people can connect with. It's just wonderful. So I thank the guests for being able to do this.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I love them. They're about 20, 30 minutes. So they're just that nice, like, I mean, from the time I go from my house to the store, I can listen to an entire episode, and I just have it going. So Maria, how did this come about? How did you say, oh, I'm going to do a sewing podcast, and when?
So in 2019, I was co-hosting a live show called That Sewing Blab. That was Dawn Pengelly had it, and it just happened that she moved co-host because Myra Lorraine was her co-host, and she was fabulous. But you know, you can only do that for so long. And I tried it, and I can't do live. So Molly and Byrd, you two do live brilliantly. I can't do
We've
that.
seen you on live, Maria, and you do live pretty well. You really do.
You really do.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, long story short, she had 150 videos, and I said, oh, I could convert those to podcasts. It was just too much. And I'd done all this research, and I thought, what am I going to do with all this research? So that's when the idea for the podcast came about, and it's kind of morphed, or as they say, it has pivoted since 2019. Yeah. So that's how it all came about. But when I was learning how to podcast with a guy in Sydney, he said, now don't do more than one a fortnight because you run out of content. And I thought, oh, that's pretty interesting. And then if you look at magazines or people who create sewing content in magazines or online, you know, that's true. There is a certain amount of information. And I thought, well, that's done. I don't need to do that. I can't compete with a publishing company that has, you know, all these resources. But what I thought was, what about the people who sew? That's a huge ocean of people who sew. And everyone has issues that they deal with in their everyday life as well. And I think that gets covered on the podcast.
And there's not, I mean, when you get a group of sewists around, there is never a lack of what we want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it just, you know, it's one of those hobbies where there's a lot to talk about, you know, from
True.
the patterns to skills to problems.
To fitting, to fabric, you name it.
Yeah. Just pick a little piece of it and you're off and running. I
mean, you know, pants fitting, trying to get a pair of pants to fit. I mean, up until, you know, he had pattern, you know, tissue fitting. You could have done all the resizing. You could have done, you know, made your own block. And now Ruth Collins has come up with the top-down, center-out method. And I think that's making sense for some people. But when you know how to do something, and this other dip, and so, you know, just that one topic, you know.
Oh yeah,
can be discussed for ages.
Forever. Well, and I had you had Ruth on maybe a month ago about the pants, the top, yeah, and that was because I kind of tackled pants for the first time, and then I thought I had it, and now I'm actually I took a break for pants for about a year. I'm going back, and I actually decided, even though I felt comfortable, I was going to try her method because I also feel as a sewist, you never. Like, there's never 100% where you're like, maybe. I don't ever feel I'm going to be like, I'm the master at that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Stacey Taylor, she's the Crooked Hem. So her podcast was yesterday, and she's developed nine videos about the top-down, center-out method. And she's, in addition to, she's done a special one. So she's done 10. And so she's assisted Ruth to make sure that people can see a demonstration of what's behind it and how to do it. But the reason I bring her up is because one of the points she made was when her mother was growing up, you wouldn't have taken a photo of your backside in trousers and discussed it with your friends. It just wasn't done. Right. But we can do that now with social media. But, you know, that also brings, okay, so what are we going to do to change that? Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you started in 2019,
mm-hmm.
and for a while you actually took it on. It was part of the socialist part. You had like episodes. Can you talk a little bit about that time period?
Yep. So in 2020, March 2020, when COVID hit and everyone was in lockdown, I felt as shocked as everyone else, didn't know what to do. And I thought, okay, how about if, you know, when you're stuck at home, Monday to Friday, how do you distinguish that from the weekend? And so I got in contact with Australian Sewing Guild to do a short Monday show. Sandy, I contacted her to do what we thought was a one-off, but ended up being long-term show on a Thursday. And Socialists was a Tuesday. And Socialists, they were the ones who put the call out for representation and all that sort of stuff. And so I thought, well, they'd be good to have on a Tuesday. And then Wednesdays and Fridays ended up being mending. And the lovely Amy Tute in Brisbane, she was happy to do the Wednesday where we just caught up and just chatted. So that's how the whole Socialist collaboration commenced. And I found that was quite good because they have, each sort of body has what it is that they're trying to put out there, and I'm happy to support that. So that's really helped now with promoting community people on Instagram like Sewn Adaptive, because they do videos that show how to adapt fashion for people who have for people who need that adaptation based on if they've got if they're living with a wheelchair, or if they've got crutches, or if limbs are different sizes, all that sort of thing. You've got Sarah of Curvy Pattern Database, and she's putting that out every month on her own bat. So those sorts of community people, I'm happy to support them and get their message out there. Have I gone on for too long about this?
Not at all.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
not at all.
I got to meet Lynn, and now his name is gone out of my head. I got to meet Alex. I got to meet him in person.
Oh,
And I did squeeze her.
it's just a living, which is good. Thank you.
I was just like, yeah, they were at the Frogtails, and I know, I was like, can I hug you? So lovely, and that's just right before they had launched Sewn Adaptive, and I'm just so happy for the both of them that they have found that, and that they seem to be having a success with it. So
yeah.
and
also
they are
on tonight, by the way. So Sewn Adaptive is on, which is really great. Yep.
Oh, she is.
Yep, she is.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's why I saw her name. I thought,
Gave her a shout out. Yep.
Oh, hi, Lynn. How you doing? Anyways, yeah. So I mean, that is neat. So you were doing, you're picking different things to support. I mean, that's the other thing. So you're doing the sewist, but you're also like, how can we kind of well up people that we need more representation? Curvy Database. I mean, she's one of my favorites too. She does so much for the community. Again, somebody who's putting so much work, this is on her own time, and it's benefiting the community hugely. We have a question. Can Maria tell us which Frogtails she has attended? Yeah, Maria. Which Frogtails?
Frogtail. Well, the most recent one, of course, was SewOver50 in Edinburgh, and that was fabulous. Absolutely.
You traveled all the way over there.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
You're amazing.
Well,
we're going to have to fly all the way over next time. We've talked about this.
I'm down for that. I'm definitely down for that. Yeah,
and
for sure.
Lots of people went, and it was because I can. And I think it would be really great that we do some sort of Frogtails, which I think we did during COVID, so that people who can't travel can still participate. I think that would be great. Yeah. So I've been to the one in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. Brisbane I love. I missed out last weekend, but I was just too busy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to do one in New Mexico.
I think we should.
Yeah. I had a question for you, Maria. So you have, it's over 300 podcasts, I believe, since 2019. And looking at the podcasts that are available today, just looking at the month of October. And guys, I think we're still in the month of October. I jotted it down. I believe that you have completed 8 different podcasts just this month. What does it look like behind the scenes of So Organized style?
Well, it's just me. Um,
Wow.
that's what it looks like. But uh, we've talked about this before. For every 10 minutes that you hear, it takes an hour to edit.
Wow.
Yep.
And last week, I discovered, it was an idea that I've had in my head. I've discovered how to put the audio onto YouTube. So I've now created a So Organized Style YouTube channel because we're on the Instagram platform. So now I'm sitting there thinking, hang on a second, there is another audience that we can bring across to SewOver50. And so now that I've kind of figured that out, all of the previous SewOver50 podcasts, and I think there's I did a count, over 160. I'm going to start converting those so that
wow.
there is a bank of them on there. Yeah.
So you typically Zoom when you're interviewing someone, which people don't see when they're listening. So is that what we'll see when we're on the YouTube channel?
So what you'll see on the YouTube, good question. What you'll see on the YouTube channel is the audience, the audio, not the audience, that's different. So you'll see the audio, and I've been putting up images from that guest's Instagram account or from their blog. So you'll still have the audio, but the images are just static at this stage because I've always said that it would only be audio. So you know that when we do the Zoom, we just look like our everyday self, which is fabulous, but it's not made for video.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, you'd have to let folks know beforehand not to show up in your pajamas for the podcast taping.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually put lipstick on today because I was like, they're going to be looking at this whole thing.
So did I.
So Maria, you also are a sewist. So what are you working on right now? Or are you, or what am I trying to say?
No. I'm just trying to go back through my head because last week was a lot of editing, audio editing, getting that out, getting the
all of those
YouTube
8 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You keep reminding me. I'm sitting there going, no, I know I did it, but it's done. I got to move on.
A lot. That's amazing. Kudos.
Thank you. Okay, so I've got 4 pieces of Minerva fabric that I've got to work through for really, really quickly, which I can. I've got it all planned. It's all right. I got plans. I got patterns.
For people that aren't a Minerva ambassador, are you a Minerva ambassador,
Yeah.
Maria? Yes.
Yeah.
You get the fabric and you have 8 weeks?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And it's, anyway, so I think there's about 300 posts on there now. So I've been doing it for, 7-8 years?
No way.
So it takes time. So, people who are watching, it takes time to sew. Don't think that you can do that in a month because you can't.
And you have to write the whole essay on your outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's work.
So you reviewed 300 patterns.
300.
If you have 300 posts, you've probably reviewed almost 300 patterns. And not just the patterns, but also the fabric.
Yeah. Oh,
Look at her.
sorry. I'm sitting there, I did that.
So you're just really a superstar all the way across the board.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I don't know where you get all the energy. This is amazing. You do so many wonderful things, so many different things.
Thanks.
And so how much of your wardrobe is me made?
Oh.
Do you think?
Oh, look, probably 70% because I still like to buy some things.
Got a few pieces, of course.
Yeah.
But 70%, that's a lot.
And I've just changed my work situation. And so I want to get rid of my suits, but give them to organizations that pass them on to women who need suits. So I found 2 organizations in Sydney. One is Dress for Success and the other one is Something Fit to Work. So I've got to pull those out and deliver them so that I can keep sewing. Otherwise I'm wasting resources.
That's a great idea. I mean, I know different people do different things. Some people have the, you know, the sales and stuff. I I couldn't be really bothered. It'd just be one more thing. But I do like the idea that you find, even if I just pack them up to Goodwill, I kind of like, well, but I like that you're finding a specific resource. That's really interesting. Oh yeah, Style Falcon says Dress for Success is wonderful. And
Yeah.
Awesome.
earlier, yes, Know Me Sews was like, yeah, Maria, you were like, yeah, I did that. No big deal. 300 patterns.
I mean, look,
You're so funny. You're just like, uh-huh, sure, do that.
sorry. Look, I enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm always thinking about what am I going to do next,
Yeah.
and then how do I get it out there, and making sure I meet deadlines. But I enjoy it. So yeah, I don't mean to be humble, but
That's just you.
I don't want to. I don't
Yeah.
want to. Yeah, sorry.
That's just you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Cliff Ann has a question.
Yes.
What is the piece of fabric in your stash that you have had the longest? And please describe it. Nice
Oh,
one.
I like that question.
I like that one.
Um,
I'm already like ticking through my own head.
I think oh, it's really hard to say. Other than I think I went to, oh goodness, it's usually sort of like the brocades. I love brocades, but it takes a while to actually make them into something so that you're not wasting it, or it's a pattern that suits that fabric's properties. And you can't wear brocade every day to go shopping. You probably could, but I don't. So that's why it sits there waiting to be made into something. And that's why frock tails is good, because I can make it into something to wear there.
Yeah. Yeah, Sandy is also, what's your favorite garment to make? It kind of goes, but yeah. Is it a jacket? What's your favorite fabric? She's just like getting us all, Sandy.
Coats and jackets. They're my
Coats and
favorite.
jackets. So
Yeah.
when you say coats, you mean like a coat, not like a, yeah, I guess that's what a coat is. Like a winter jacket that you would.
Yeah, I love winter jackets.
Okay, Byrd just made one. I'm really feeling like I need to make a winter coat now, hearing this.
I am literally, that's on my cutting table right now.
It is.
I'm working on another one, getting ready for the winter. So this one is going to be a fully lined coat. It's hard to see it, and
No,
it's
good.
I'm almost done.
So so Byrd, what pattern was that? And then Maria, I'm asking you the same thing. What's your favorite coat pattern? Byrd, what was that?
This one is Wardrobe by Me, which I actually love, and they're a big supporter of SewOver50 as well, because their patterns, I think we talked about this in some of our other live sessions, is sometimes you can get a pattern and it's way off, the sizing is way off, even when you use your actual measurements, which we should be doing anyway. I don't find that with Wardrobe by Me. I find that their pattern, the measurements are really true to your size. If it's your size, it's going to fit you. So that's one of my favorites. What about you, Maria?
I think the one that I've been working on the most is I think it's a Butterick basic sort of Chanel type jacket pattern.
Ooh,
it's
like
dead
that.
easy, really, if you don't go down the path of doing the whole interlining, silk lining, hand stitching, and really I'll just construct it with a zipper up the front.
Oh.
It ends up being a zip jacket, and it can be in denim, it could be in just a soft fabric, and I don't have to go down the path of using a boucle.
What's a boucle?
Like a tweedy, like a, sorry.
No, I don't know.
It's kind of a loose weave with a bit of depth to it, and it does need
this. That's when I hear the word, I think about fabric that just kind of looks like, what is that stuff called? Now I'm
okay.
If anyone knows, drop it in the comment box.
Yeah, one of the biggest thing I have learned by being in the Instagram community, I would say, is about fabrics. Like I just used to just buy fabrics not knowing what they were. And that's one thing I've really learned. So I'm always like, what is that? We have another question. And see, 2001.
That's Carol. Carol Crickaway.
Oh, this is tell us about your burlap coffee jacket. Or was it sugar with a big smiley face emoji?
Thanks, Carol. Love the question. So last year I went through a phase of trying to use coffee bean sacks, which are jute. So they're 70 to 80 kilos, right? And a local roaster here was selling them it was 5 bags for $1 or something. So I thought it was $1 per bag. Sorry, I ended up buying 5. And I've got heaps of it. Anyway, long story short, I've used a new look sort of raglan style jacket, and I've interlined that, and I wear it in the winter, and it's just amazing. And that's how I got to meet September Faden, which is Nicole, because she had used the same coffee bean bag. She lives in Germany. Coffee beans are distributed globally. And she had exactly the same bag that she'd made into that jacket.
No way.
Hold the phone.
That's so bizarre. It feels like such a small world when we start talking things like that. Yeah.
So the jute is like a burlap. That's what we would call it here. It's kind of like a burlap. Yeah.
Okay.
And you line that jacket.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would imagine it would be kind of scratchy.
So I interlined it with a cotton, and instead of putting the lining like you have with your coat, it's just interlined, and then I've used bias to seal to cover the seam edges of the seam allowance. Yeah.
Okay.
I know, Carol. I love that jacket. I wear it when it's really cold, and I walk around, like I walk to the shops, and people kind of give me a look, and then they look away. But
do they get the aroma of coffee a little bit? They're like, that woman just smells so delicious.
You're going to have to repost that now. You're going to have to repost that, Maria.
Okay. All right.
I know. I'm like, I forget to write notes while we're talking, because we have, I have to write a little something about this. And I'm like, oh, I got to write this down.
And I love Carol because she does sew-alongs on Facebook for nothing. And she does YouTube videos to help people sew for nothing as well.
Well, and when you were talking about the YouTube, I was mentioning that too. I think if there's such a connection of YouTube with the wealth of knowledge that people are posting there about tutorials and things like that. I think, So live. Oh, I can't remember her name. She does wonderful. So live. I mean,
I can't
remember
either.
Yeah.
Her channel is amazing. We are needing to kind of wrap up. So before I forget, would you tell people? Go ask.
So I had 2 quick questions. So where should people go to listen? We're listening to your podcast. I like to listen to it during my drive, but tell folks that may not know where they should go to listen to the podcast.
So the podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, all of those places where you can get podcasts. And it's called So Organized Style, organized with an S, not a Z. And sometimes you've got to type in organized_style, because that's just how they accepted the name. So I'm sorry that you have to put the underscore. I've got the website for the podcast, which is So Organized Style, and that's how you can find it.
Yeah. And then my final question, and I'll turn it back over to Molly. Because obviously I think there has to be some cost to doing a podcast. How can we support you? Is there a patron? How do subscription? How can we support you?
Thanks for asking the question. I do the podcast for free, and I'm always really flattered when people say, how can we support you? And I do have a Patreon account, and it's on the bio, and it's also on the website. And I do there. There's about 14 people who support it, and I'm so thankful for all of them. And it's only what you can give per month, and you don't have to. I'd appreciate it, but it helps me with the platform costs and the website costs. But if I can do things for free, I do, and I don't charge anyone, and I won't be doing subscriptions to listen to the podcast because
you're doing them for free, but they're not
Yeah.
free. So folks that are listening, if you can support in any way, a couple dollars here and there, so that we can continue to listen to so many different topics and issues and things as a coming to us through the podcast. So we do want to encourage folks to support.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And at the very least, review. Like, I know some platforms don't let you, but I do believe Apple does anytime. I mean, it's a general thing for any podcast, but just you should really, that's something that people can do is stop for a few minutes, give it a review. Only good reviews, I'm going to say.
Oh, no. You can look, if people have got feedback.
I said it, not you.
Direct message me, because I would really like to know. And if people want to be on the podcast, direct message me or direct message you guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's been lovely. We like to close with, are you wearing a Me Made now?
Yes. Yep.
And what is it?
It's the latest Vogue one that I
Lovely.
did that you've got. This is the actual one that you did
I did, but it was green, wasn't it?
So this is the one that I was going to make. The one that the green one was the 12. This is the actual. So it's a navy crepe, and sorry, the sleeve has got like a piece down there. It's kind of military, but 60s.
Yeah.
And so this is the actual.
Kind of, yeah. I'm so intimidated to do a Vogue.
I'll sit down.
Like I have so many Vogues, and they just sit there staring at me. So maybe it'll inspire me to try one.
Me too, Molly. I've done one, and they are, honestly, I think, a bit intimidating. Unnecessarily so. Sorry.
Yes. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
All right, Byrd, what are you wearing?
This is
lovely.
Allison.
It's a beautiful green.
Thank you. This is Minerva fabric, actually. This is the Allison tent dress, and it's a indie pattern designed by So Much Jazz. And she's amazing. This is, I think, her second or third, and I love it. It's so comfortable and airy. Yeah. And what about you, Molly?
It's a self-drafted. I'm working on the coats not slowly. I'm just working it out, man. So I'm just, I don't know. It's just a little chore jacket. What do you call it?
With pockets and stuff?
I got a little welt.
Okay, wait a minute. That's not a chore jacket if you have welts, okay? Let me just say that.
It is if you're Molly.
Then a chore jacket. Welts? Really, Molly?
I like to go on my construction sites and look a little spectacular, yet functional. Like you could get me to like get dirt all over me, but I'll still look sparkly. Well, and with a welt pocket, that's what you do.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And I love the color coordination there. I love that.
This was my second version of this because I did try this in a different jacket, and I sat as a whip, is it called, for like a year. I finally threw it away, and then I was like, I'm going to try this again. So it's a nice little corduroy. It's like a Robert Kaufman corduroy.
And nice top stitching.
Yep. Thank you. Love my top stitching. Maria, it's been lovely. Again, I don't know what we're going to do because how many more excuses can the three of us
we can always have a Zoom meeting together. It's okay. Anyone can join, you know.
I know, it's true. All right, well, this has been lovely. Thank you so much. I think we got all the information. We will post it, all your stuff on the post.
Okay.
And if you're interested in joining a SO50 Live, reach out to Molly and me. And if you're interested in being a guest on So Organized with an S, So Organized Style, send a message directly to the So Organized Style account on Instagram or directly to Velo, VELOSEWS. How do you say it again?
Velo Sews.
Velo Sews. All right.
And
guys.
say your last name again. Therathonis.
How did you say it? I
Don't say it, Mommy.
Therathonis. I'm determined not to butcher it.
You're allowed to. Everyone else at school used to.
So how do you say it? Yeah.
They used to say thesaurus, but it's Theoharis.
Theoharis. I mean, it's such a lovely name. So I think that's why I'm like determined.
Thanks.
I'm like, Theoharis.
It's beautiful.
Oh, can I just say, Byrd and Molly, thank you for having me on SO50 Live, and thank you for everyone who's come and asked questions and, you know, given us a heart on SO50 Live. Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Well, and thank you for being such a huge supporter of SewOver50. I mean, it's just wonderful. You're wonderful. We love you.
Judith and Sandy are wonderful.
And yes, definitely, Judith and Sandy are so awesome. That's how we'll end the show, people.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you all. Good night, Byrd.
Bye.
Have a wonderful day, Maria.
You too. Cheers,
Bye.
ladies. Bye, everyone.